Where I am right now, I'm about 7,500 feet above sea level. I am in the Tahoe area, Lake Tahoe. Really cool up here, but it's very cold. And apparently, there are some black bears in the area. This video is kind of just a point of reflection, but not only reflection, also a shout out to everyone that is on the personal development journey. Shout out to everyone that has been through a lot and who has found the strength and the courage to, even when it seems challenging, to choose themselves, to choose yourself, to actually get to the point where you realize that you don't have to say yes to everyone. You don't have to tell everyone everything, and that you can actually choose yourself. You can choose to be on a path that's healthy and cultivate healthy relationships and be somebody that you respect, because all of your other relationships are entirely determined by how you are with yourself. The way that you treat yourself is the way that other people are going to treat you. And if you don't treat yourself well, other people are not going to treat you well. You may have been through a lot, and that can be a very real thing. No matter how much you've been gaslighted or invalidated, no matter how much you've been told that whatever it is that you've been through is not actually that bad, the only person that needs to believe it is you. And just those people that want better for themselves and have this undying passion to wake up on a daily basis and refine themselves and to recognize that they want growth. They want to continue to be better. They want to continue to challenge themselves to seek higher, to jump higher, the higher heights of the potentialities for this life for any given individual. It's available, and there's nobody that can stop you. And as long as you choose yourself, as long as you choose what it is that's actually authentic for you, feeling confident in saying no when you don't want to do something, not getting caught up in manipulative tactics or guilt trips or, neurotic shaming, neurotic guilting, any of that stuff, seeing it for what it is. If there's something that I think I've made pretty clear on this channel, it's all about seeing everything for what it is, because when you see it for what it is, you won't be distracted by what it's not. And one of the most important things in regards to seeing everything for what it is also includes yourself. Do you see yourself for who you are, or are you distracted by what you've been told you are? There's a difference between who it is that you actually are and who you've been told that you are. Maybe you've been gaslighted by people into believing that you're just not good enough, that you're just not worthy, that you just simply can't do it, that there's somebody out there, there are the people out there that can, but you can't. It's just not available for you. It's bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. It can be easy to get caught up in manipulative tactics and dynamics from other people that maybe don't want you to win. But as long as you see it for what it is, as long as you recognize it for what it is, seeing everyone else for who they are underneath all the smoke and mirrors, but also seeing yourself for who you are. Do you actually see yourself for who you are, or are you just caught up in all of the opinions and ideas that other people have projected onto you? There is nothing stopping you from living the life that you want to, besides maybe your own discomfort to sit inside of tension of saying no. Oh, what did you say to me? No. Period. I don't want to do it. I don't. I've been numbing my intuition my entire life. I'm not talking about me personally or specifically. This is just an example. Somebody that's been numbing their intuition their entire life, and they're tired of being out of touch with themselves. They're tired of making decisions that are not congruent and authentic to them. You're going to wake up someday and you're going to be older, and maybe you're going to regret having not made more congruent decisions for yourself. It's reality. What do you actually want for yourself? Are you aware that you might be seeing things as not for what they are, and instead just a distraction of what they're not? Are you aware that maybe you're not seeing yourself for who you really are, and instead just smoke and mirrors of other people's projections because they lack healthy boundaries? Whatever life you want is available for you. That's the reality. It took me some time to realize that for myself, but now being where I am, I see it for what it is, and I understand, oh, wait a second. Nothing's stopping me. There are no distractions. Things that other people say to me are probably just projections of themselves and how they feel about themselves. And just really understanding that vibe for what it is, because that is an entire dynamic in and of itself. The next thing that I want to address in this video is the reality of just how fast life goes by, because it does. It doesn't matter if you think that life is too short or that you think that it's too long. You blinked and now you're here, and you're probably a lot older than you were. You went through a lot of things, you did a lot of things, you experienced a lot of things, and it's just going to keep going. Nobody probably is going to step in and be like, hey, do you actually want this? Unless that is they're healthy emotionally and they want to further consider you. Now, it's really important to get congruent with yourself. Look at the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years, however long it's been for you, and ask yourself what you want differently. Ask yourself if you want to continue to do the same things, like actually want to. Like, you don't get to go back. Like, nobody gets to go back. That's the reality of this. There's no turning back the pages and being, at least, I don't know, not until there's like a actual time machine. I don't know. And I don't know what's after. I don't know what is actually provable. But I do know that this right here, this now, is tangible. And what you choose to do right now will determine your future, just like what it did 10 years ago brought you to where you are now. And for me, similarly, years ago, close to even a decade ago, I started planting seeds of things that I actually wanted: journaling, other self care practices, meditation, aligning myself with a regulated nervous system. What is it that you actually want? And if you understand that you can actually do anything that you want to, then what is it that you actually want? Because you may have been, for the longest time, operating on a program of perceived limitation. But that's just perceived. Just because you perceive something doesn't mean that it's the reality of something. Just because you assume something of somebody doesn't mean that it's the reality of them. Interesting, isn't it? Just because you perceive something doesn't mean that it's actually true. Just because you perceive that you have to live by these limitations that other people have set for you doesn't mean that it's actually true. I mean, yeah, if you break out of the mold and you decide that you don't want to abide by those things, you could go that route. It doesn't matter the noise that it makes. It doesn't matter what other people say. What do you actually want? Are you aware to realize that you are in charge of your life? Nobody else determines you but you. Nobody else determines me but me. I can say no and sit in a peaceful space of zero anxiety. You can say no and sit in a peaceful space of zero anxiety. What do you actually want? It's your choice.